Hi, in this video we'll be talking about laptops, DJ software you should be using, and touch a little bit on beat matching and track selection.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. DJ Samo.
Alright, you've begun building your music library. Now you're kind of wondering what to do next with it, well, now might be a good time to start looking at a laptop. Now, from my experience in this industry, it doesn't matter laptops, speakers, microphones, stuff like that, yada yada. You get what you pay for. Now, when I first started out about 10 years ago, early like 2010, I was using the cheap $400 to $500 Walmart laptops, and they just weren't holding up. Every few months I'd have to exchange it or get a new one or something like that. And I'd be having them cut out in the middle of shows. They'd overheat, stuff like that. They weren't working. So what I decided to do then is I went down to a place called Micro Center. It's a big computer warehouse, parts store, stuff like that. Pretty much a geek store for geeks, and like I am kind of. I went down there and talked to a sales rep. I told him, all right, I'm a DJ, and I told him a little bit what's happening with the other laptops, and I needed something that's going to be reliable. It's not going to overheat. It's not going to crash on me. It's got to be able to stay on for long periods of time, 4 hours minimum, up to probably 6 hours, maybe more at times, depending if I'm doing a wedding or not. And it's got to be able to handle like vibrations and stuff good from the bass. What he suggested was I look the gaming laptop, and he actually steered me towards Asus brand gaming laptop. I think they call them the Republic of Gamers, just for the gaming stuff. But I've had that PC now, or that laptop, for almost 10 years. It still runs. I don't use it for DJing anymore. It's more my if I'm sitting at the couch watching TV, and I'll have it and use it there or something like that and stuff like that. But it's still working, still going strong. About 5 years ago, I upgraded and got a new Asus gaming laptop just so I had some of the updated features and ran a little faster. Had a new USB standards came out and stuff like that. And that one I'm still using 5 years from when I bought it as my main DJ laptop. The only thing I've had to do to it is upgrade the hard drive, because about a month or two ago I noticed it was starting to get on its last leg, and it was getting really slow to boot up, and it seemed like it took forever to boot up and load stuff. So I put a new solid state drive in, and things like brand new again. So if you're looking for a laptop for DJing, strongly suggest getting a gaming laptop. I use the Asus brand. You may ask why I didn't go with a Macintosh or Mac product or Apple. I'm just a PC guy. I remember using Apples and Macs in middle school and high school, even elementary school, and I never really cared for them. I had bad experiences with them. So I'm a PC guy, but the gaming laptops, they got way better cooling solutions, and they're actually designed to run cool and stay on for long periods of time, because some of them games they have nowadays put a heavy load on those laptops. So they're actually designed to hold up for stuff like that. So what we're doing with DJing is probably a light to medium load for them. So unless you're doing video DJing, which, definitely get a gaming laptop if you're going to be doing video, being a VJ, we'll call it, stuff like that. Now, on to DJ specific software. There are numerous different types of DJ software out there. I'm just going to talk about 4 of them, I believe, here. For the most part, most of the DJ software out there basically does the same thing. It helps you keep your lists organized, in tracks of music. Keeps them organized, and also helps you to blend 2 or more tracks simultaneously together, so a nice smooth transition. And most of what you're going to find is going to boil down to your personal preference, which DJ software you'd like to use. But a lot of them, most of them out there have free versions you can try. So suggest go out, download them, the free versions, try them out. I'll get the links down below in the video so you can just click on the link, get the free version, stuff like that. Now, the first one I'm going to talk about is the industry standard for clubs and club DJs. It is called Serato, and it's a very good, very capable, very powerful DJ software. It can do a lot of stuff. I personally don't use it. It's not my favorite, and I'll get into that more later. A couple of things I've seen happen with it is it does tend to be a little more crash prone than some of the other ones out there. I've seen a couple DJs, maybe it was their computer, maybe it was the software, I don't know, could have been something, but they all seem to be using Serato, and every couple of shows for some reason it would just quit on them. They'd have to reboot their computer or restart the program, not sure why. Next one out there is by Pioneer, and it's called Record Box. It's specifically designed to work with their DJ controllers that they have, and it's becoming very popular among the club DJs now. It's just as capable as Serato and stuff like that. It can do a lot of cool features. It even has some other cool features built into it, like controlling lighting and stuff. If you got for your DJ lights, it can help control them, do different things and stuff like that. I personally don't use it. I've tried it. I think it's pretty cool, but the only issue I've had with it is on my laptop, after about 10 minutes, it crashes. That could have been with the old hard drive. I haven't tried it with the new one yet, but it seemed like every 10 minutes or so, it just randomly crashed on me. Don't know why, so I'm just like, I'm not going to use it. Next one out there is Tractor. It's not quite as popular as it used to be. It was one of the first ones to kind of come out with from my understanding, first ones for mixing digital music together. There's still a lot of old school DJs that use it and love it. Like I said, great for early adopters, and they love it still, so good honorable mention. The fourth one here, the last one I'm going to talk about, it's my favorite one, and it's also the one that gets the most hate from club DJs. It's called Virtual DJ. I'm not sure why they don't like it. Maybe it's because of the name Virtual DJ, but my opinion, I think it's because they kind of feel a little bit threatened by it, because it does automate a lot of the features that like Serato and Tractor and all them you have to do manually. It can automate a lot of them features for you, and they prefer, they're saying it's not true mixing, not true this or not true that. I'm like, dude, work smarter, not harder. If you got something that's going to automate the process for you, that can free you up to do other things. Maybe drop another style of mix in or something like that, or in my case, gives me a chance to go out and socialize with the crowd. Maybe take a few Snapchats with some of the guests that are at the event or something like that. If I'm at a wedding, it gives me time to talk to the bride and groom if there's something last minute that came up we have to iron out, because, no wedding I've ever done has ever gone according to plan, or been in even. There's always some little hiccup or something that happens where the mother-in-law decided to show up that wasn't going to show up. Now they want to do a special dance with her, or one of the bridesmaids is late. I did a wedding ceremony once where the officiant forgot to do the unity ceremony at the unity part of the ceremony. So later on, back at the reception hall, we worked in that unity part into the reception, and it turned out great. Bride and groom are extremely happy. Stuff like that. No, that's enough with why they don't like it. Now we'll get on to why I really like it. One of the things I really like about it is the sound quality. Like I said, I've tried Tractor, Serato, Record Box. For me, Virtual DJ, I think they use all the programs use something called a codec. It's what decodes the file so the computer can play it and you get music coming out. For some reason, I think Virtual DJ did their own version of it. They didn't use like a stock version that they got off codec.com or something like that. I think they took the time to make their own, and you can tell they put some effort into it because it's all the bass and the highs just hit just a little bit harder and a little bit crisper, in my opinion, with Virtual DJ. Not sure what it does. There's a lot of disagreement out there about it, but I've tried them all. I've hooked them all up to my system, did same song back-to-back comparisons, and Virtual DJ just knocked the other three out of the park, in my opinion. Now, one thing that's I really like about it, it's great for rural DJs and wedding DJs, is the Automix feature, which they have. And they got like 4 or 5 different ways you can set up the Automix feature. You'd have to check the software out to see which one it is, and of course I'll have the link down below for you. But I usually choose the remove intro and remove outro part of it. That's just a nice, clean, simple mix. It doesn't try to do anything too fancy. Sometimes I find with crowds, if you try to do stuff a little too fancy, especially in rural areas, you get that weird, they stare at you and give you that weird look like, what the, are you doing to our song? So that's one of the great features of it. What else do I got here? It's also great, when you're doing weddings, for the ceremony and cocktail hour, you shouldn't have to be manually mixing that part. Just create a nice little set list of for like cocktail and dinner hour, I usually do a classic country mix. Goes over great. The old timers really love it. Brings them back. I'll throw maybe a little stuff in from the 50s and 60s, just something easy, play back a little bit. Well, what else? Let's see. I'll check my notes seamlessly. Yeah, not to say. But that Automix feature is really nice. And from a lot of times DJing in rural markets, a lot of times you'll just put up your set list. You might and just kind of play it through the whole night. You may have to add and subtract tracks, due to requests and stuff like that. But you just kind of put them in there, let it play. It'll mix them together for you, stuff like that. Not to say that you won't have to actually do some manual mixing every once in a while. I've had a few shows where the crowd had a lot of short attention span for the night. I've had a few shows like that, so it's where I was actually had to manually mix songs. I was usually in a track for no more than a minute and a half, usually about 45 seconds to 60 seconds. And I had to do that for 3 hours straight. And let me tell you, if you're not used to that, that is exhausting. But on the next subject here, we're going to talk about key matching and beat matching. Now, this next statement I'm going to make is going to piss some people off. I understand that. But let's listen, and I'll kind of explain a little bit. You do not need to know how to beat match and key match to DJ. Now, with that being said, it is a great skill to learn and hopefully try and master, but I fumble my way through, and I've been doing this for 5 years. I don't practice as much as I should. I got other stuff in my life that I can't just be sitting, practicing 24/7. But it is a great skill. If you want to learn how to beat match and key match, there are a lot of great videos on YouTube that'll show you how. Just do a search in the search menu, and it'll pop up tons of videos on how to do that. Now, how I usually approach a show, and stuff like that, is a couple days before the show, I'll actually take one day, I'll put a set list and track list together, and I'll go through and I'll look at the BPMs and the keys, and I'll try and arrange the songs so they kind of blend together a little bit. And after that, I'll come back on the second day and I'll actually listen to that set list a little bit. I'll be doing other stuff, but I'll have it on the background. I'm listening to it, and if I notice something, that doesn't blend right or something like that, I'll go over and I'll edit where the track starts or stops depending on how I want it to sound, and stuff like that. And then by the time we're ready for the show, it's all set, ready to go. And once I get to the show, guess what? It gets thrown out the window anyways, usually. Just because you get all these requests in sometimes, and you never know. I've had nights where I've had 0 requests and the crowds loved the whole set list the whole night. And I've had other ones where, oh, you gotta play this, you play this. I'm like, well, sometimes I say yes, sometimes I say no, and we'll get in that in this next part here. Which is, for the most part, if you play good, fun, upbeat music, you'll do great. Try to avoid tracks that are downbeat, sappy, negative, have a negative connotation to them. Great example is The Sound of Silence by Disturbed. Great song, don't get me wrong, I love that song. I am not going to play it when I'm DJing. It just is a downbeat song. It brings the whole crowd energy level down. It's not where I want the crowd. I'm upbeat, and I'm a very upbeat, energetic DJ when I DJ. So that just does the totally opposite of what I want my shows to be. So another thing to kind of avoid when playing, doing DJing and stuff, is avoid playing a lot of tracks like such as Gas Pedal by Sagen and Gemini, Rack City by Tyga, The Motto by Drake. Those songs have a really negative bass connotation to them. And I've realized early on from DJing, watching how the crowd reacts to the songs, that next thing you know, they're kind of more in a daze and the energy level is not there. They're just more like an autopilot out on the dance floor, and you do not want that at all. So what I usually do is I might play 1 or 2 of those songs back to back. Then I'll come back and hit the crowd with an upbeat song, maybe some Will Smith or something like that. Just something really upbeat and catchy and just get some other funk. Or maybe even I might throw on some Def Leppard, Pour Some Sugar on Me, The crowd usually goes nuts for that, even still to this day. And that song came out how many years ago? So avoid playing them songs. And I kind of wrap all that stuff into what I call music psychology. We'll wrap this up here pretty quick here. And part of music psychology is, you remember when you're DJing, you're there to provide a fun and positive atmosphere. And you can control most of the crowd by the type of the music you play and stuff like that. By understanding the music psychology and how different types of music affects people, it can help you become a really great DJ in your area. I understood this when probably in my 3rd or 4th month DJ, and I started realizing this and watching the crowd and how it really affects the people. And after realizing that's when the one first bar I played at, they said, you're our house DJ, you're the first one we're going to ask to do any DJ events. And I was their house DJ for a good 3.5, 4 years until the owner decided to retire. And then moved on. Another bar, got a hold of me and want to come DJ here? And then I became their house DJ for the last 5 years now. And even though I'm semi-retired, they kind of told me, I don't want to do it all the time anymore. If I tell them I want to do a show, they're like, what date? They don't even. We'll bump. Whatever we have, we'll bump. We'll have you come in. You'll be the DJ for tonight. The entertainment. No hesitation, nothing. They'll just say, yeah, you're it. So, which is a nice feeling. And you guys, just by understanding music psychology and how music affects people, you guys can be that great too, where the bars won't even think about asking another DJ to come in, and most of the other DJs won't even bother asking or going there because they know you got that place on lockdown. And they can't even touch what you do there, and the crowds will love you there. They actually look forward to it. I had a few people say when they see me when I'm going to be DJing there, they actually make sure they have off work that weekend so they can be up there when I'm there. So, with that being said, remember if you like this video, make sure you hit the thumbs up. If if you like the content and stuff, and hit subscribe button. I'm be doing more videos. I did order myself a new DJ controller. It's on back order right now, but when that comes in, I will do an unboxing for you. And then it's a pretty nice controller. I got it as a kind of birthday gift for myself, so I can't wait for that to get here. Hopefully it'll be here by the end of next week, but we'll see. And again, I'll have the links to Micro Center down below and the DJ software, the 4 ones I talked about. Go ahead, download them. I believe they all have free versions of them. So try them out, play with them, see which one you like better. Like I said, I prefer Virtual DJ. I think it knocks all the other ones out of the park. You just can't compare. They put a lot of time and effort into it, stuff. So, and remember, keep it fun, stay positive. It's Minnesota DJ Samo. Have a good night.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. DJ Samo.